What's up, bros? Just want to try and get at something real quick. If you've watched my stuff, you know that I like to be on the edge. I like to talk about difficult stuff to talk about. Okay, so this time I want to kind of talk about, well, the Trinity. We kind of want to talk about the Trinity because I know it's a topic that's teach a lot about in church, that most churches kind of talk about the Trinity. And to be honest, I was reading through Revelations, I was studying it, seeing what I can get out of it, right? And to be honest, it was kind of intriguing about these beasts, you know, that let's say Satan gave his power to the beast while he was on land, right? This thing come up and you know, he gave his power to him, right? Let's see. The first beast is chapter 13. Then the dragon stood and took his stand on the sand of the seashore, and I saw a beast rising out of the sea, having 10 horns and 7 heads, and on its horns were 10 diadems, and on its heads were blasphemous names. And the beast that I saw was like a leopard, its feet were like bears, and its mouth was like a lion's mouth. And the dragon gave it his power and his throne and great authority. One of its heads seemed to have received a death blow, but its mortal wound had been healed. In amazement, the whole earth followed the beast. They worshipped the dragon, for he had given his authority to the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, "Who is like the beast, and who can fight against it?" Says this beast. So we know that Satan is the dragon. Satan gave his authority and his power to another beast, right? So there's another chapter over here in chapter, same chapter, but keep going, right? Down here in the verse 7, it says, "Then I saw another beast that rose out of the earth, and it had 2 horns like a lamb, and it spoke like a dragon. It exercises all the authority of the first beast on its behalf, and it makes the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast. Whose mortal wound worship the first beast, whose mortal wound had been healed. It performs great signs, even making fire come down from heaven to earth in the sight of all. And by the signs that it is allowed to perform on behalf of the beast, it deceives the inhabitants of the earth, telling them to make an image for the beast that had been wounded by the sword and yet lived. And it was allowed to give breath to the image of the beast, so that the image of the beast could even speak and cause those who could not worship the image of the beast to be killed. Also it caused all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead." It says, so that no one could buy or sell who does not have the mark, that is, the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let anyone with understanding calculate the number of the beast. So we know that there is Satan, right? And then there's the first beast, and then there's the second beast. Those are the 3 wicked beasts as you read through Revelations, okay? So whenever we talk about the Trinity, or your preacher talks about the Trinity, does he even know what he's talking about? Like, for starters, the Trinity isn't even a word in the Bible. It's something made up. God has 7 spirits, okay? The devil apparently has 3, but God has 7 spirits. So you can read about that in Revelations, you know? Done forgot what chapter it was in. Chapter 4 and 5. It says the heavenly worship Coming from the throne are flashes and lightning and peals of thunder. In front of the throne burn 7 flaming torches, which are the 7 spirits of God. You know, there's 7 spirits of God. And then over here in chapter 5, it talks about the Lamb has seven eyes, and I think it said having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which is the 7 spirits of God. So the Lamb, being Jesus, has the 7 spirits of God. So where we get off saying Trinity, thinking that there's only three aspects of God, is a lie, or is a wrong. It's not right. I hate saying it's a lie, but if people don't know better, it's not a lie. They're just telling you what they know. But the thing is God has 7 spirits, and the devil has 3. So if you don't really know what you're worshiping, you can research it. I encourage you to research it and see if you can even read anything about it. You know, but that's just a hot topic I want to touch on. If you got any questions, hit me up. Thanks.